I'm ready if you all are. Awesome. Hey, by the way, are there sponsor reads?
Yeah, if you just text it to me.
And also if you could text me a picture of the halftime read.
Thank you so much.
Copy that. Copy that. The second meeting of the season in this Tennessee River Derby set to kick off in Chattanooga City. Southeast Division rivals Huntsville City and Chattanooga do battle on this Saturday afternoon. Welcome inside Finley Stadium in Chattanooga. Along with our broadcast team, I'm Jake Griffith. Glad to have you alongside us. Chattanooga FC coming off the narrow loss against Crown Legacy, but it's 2 wins in their last 3 matches for interim manager Richard Dixon, and trying to ride that hot hand, that wave of momentum into this clash with Huntsville City, who are victorious in their last time out against Inter Miami. As we take a look at how these sides line up, the starting 11 first for Chattanooga FC and manager Richard Dixon. It's a 4-4-2 is how it will look when they're in possession on the attack, and it's 2 personnel changes for Dixon and company. But despite 2 changes, all eyes go to that front line. The duo went in the attack of Daniel Mangarov and Alex Creel. Creel had a goal against Huntsville City in the 2-2 draw earlier this season, and this has been an attack that has started to find its footing these last few weeks for Chattanooga FC. Despite being held out of goal against Crown Legacy in that last fixture, they have matches where they put 4 on the board against a Connecticut United, a 3-goal outing against Orlando City B. Transitioning over to Huntsville City and manager Chris O'Neill, they themselves go with a 4-4-3 formation, and it is 3 personnel changes across this first 11 out for O'Neill and company. All eyes will turn toward the front line for Huntsville. It's been all about offense this year. Defensively, they have struggled, conceded 16 goals this season, but offensively they put up good numbers, 12 goals, and Xavier Aguilar, 77 there on the left side of your screen. The 17-year-old out of the Nashville SC Academy, the Nashville U17er, he will get a start today, the second start of the season for the young 17-year-old, 4th appearance, and there are a lot of high hopes that Aguilar can be that dynamic player this season, despite being young, for this Huntsville side, who are a bit offensively shorthanded. No Shaq Muhammad tonight, no Jordan Knight. They are with the Nashville SC first team in MLS action. Stephen Foster is our center referee tonight in what should be a spirited affair. Whistle sounds, and we are underway between Chattanooga and Huntsville. And Huntsville will promptly thump that one out of play to help get their defense set off the start. It is Chattanooga coming off the loss against Crown Legacy with the throw-in. Struggling to hang on to it at that halfway line, and now it is finally steered out of play by Huntsville. Had a chance to speak with interim manager Richard Dixon earlier in the week, and despite the result, he was pleased with the way his team played against Crown Legacy, a Crown Legacy side who really lit the Eastern Conference on fire this season. Both these teams, they've had a couple of showdowns with Crown Legacy. An even contest until the 72nd minute. Chattanooga getting a player sent off. They played down a man the rest of the way. A penalty converted in the 73rd, but still they had their chances against the Charlotte FC affiliate. Hit the post once in that contest, did hold Crown Legacy to 1 shot on target the entire match. Meanwhile, Huntsville City settling in on possession now, and they will play this over to Will Mackey, getting his 6th start of the season. Huntsville showed some real grit against Inter Miami. They went into the half, knotted up 1-1, opened the scoring in the 19th minute, and then rattled off 3 unanswered in the second half to really pull away from Inter Miami 2. Charles Brunet will set that one back up. Brunet, the 80th overall pick in the Super Draft out of SMU. 8 goal contributions a season ago at the collegiate level. He'll play this one forward. Julian Gaines now operating on the right. Now forward, Huntsville City goes, and that a short-lived spell of possession. Guided back to Eldin Jakupovic. Jakupovic making start number 8 of 2026 for this boys in blue side. It is Chattanooga in the navy with the white stripes on the front. Huntsville in their road kits. Chattanooga trying to work it up that far side. Those wide spaces were an area that Richard Dixon's Chattanooga FC team had a lot of time to operate in last time they faced Huntsville. Trying to carve an opening inside was Damian Barker-John, and John turned away. Barker-John, number 9 in navy and white for Chattanooga. He has come in this season and really stormed onto the scene for Chattanooga FC. An experienced MLS Next Pro player, spent time with Huntsville City, spent time with Real Monarchs and the RSL organization out in the Western Conference, but Barker John already 3 goals in 6 appearances. Huntsville City losing some ground here. They will guide it over to Will Mackey. Mackey, a player that Chris O'Neill, manager for Huntsville City, highlighted in our conversation earlier in the week. Specifically, the way he's been able to distribute the ball. You go back to Huntsville City's match against Inter Miami, the 4-2 win last match week, and his distribution was outstanding. The way he was able to use his feet to help jumpstart attacks, help Huntsville get forward, get into that attacking half, and really create. We get a whistle here from Stephen Foster, our center referee, first since his opening whistle, and that will bring things to a stoppage. But on the subject of Mackey, it is something that organizationally, this Nashville SC organization that Huntsville finds themselves nestled inside of, they do like to use that as part of their build-outs, get their keeper involved. You look at the first team for B.J. Callahan and Nashville SC, Brian Schwacke, very strong distributor in net. Good ball forward, laid off inside. It's Mangarov trying to cut this one in, wanted Creel. And instead, a whistle will wash it away. Chattanooga fans trying to make their voice heard early in this contest. One thing both these managers discussed this week, when Chattanooga and Huntsville meet, means just a little bit more. Obviously, all points are crucial, but then you sprinkle in the regional rivalry effect of this. They've already met once this season, a 2-2 draw. Coming on the road for Chattanooga. This is the only home fixture they will have against their visitors from the Rocket City this season. Return trip later on in the year back down to Huntsville and Wicks Family Field. Huntsville in that contest, they went up 2-0. Chattanooga, they were able to have the deficit just before the halftime whistle. Ended up scoring a penalty late to make it 2-2. Able to steal a point away from Huntsville, who were ultimately victorious in that penalty shootout. Now moving forward with it. Huntsville once again short-lived. Huntsville on the move once more. Anselin trying to stick the foot in, ends up tripping the man up, and that will draw a whistle again from Stephen Foster. Chris O'Neill, he did speak at length about Chattanooga FC, their opposition for Huntsville, when we had a chance to catch up. He mentioned that this is an organized Chattanooga team in their defensive posture. Said one of the things that he feels like his team needs to do is they need to match that organization when on defense. Free kick will get things back going for Chattanooga FC. Here's Kohler, who will play it over to Fareed Sarsar, former Inter Miami Heron in his own right. Spent the 2023 season in the Inter Miami organization. Boys in blue couldn't hold on to it, though. Now Mackey will fling this one ahead. He's trying to pick out Yoshizawa on the near side, and Yoshizawa, former Clemson Tiger, calm under pressure. Now back ahead, Huntsville goes. Looking to tightrope that outside touchline, and they do successfully. Opportunity developing here. The cross flashed in. First to it was Kohler. Now knocked back down by Huntsville. Wanted to give it up to Veliz, ultimately flicked on, and that is where Jakupovic will boot this one away. Talk about distribution for keepers. How about that for Jakupovic? Up ahead, Creel pounded defensively by the visitors. Trying to shake free of Nigel Prince. Ultimately, Creel goes spilling onto the turf. It will be a throw in for Huntsville City. Huntsville, they went on the road last match week, able to pick apart Inter Miami, trying to make it back-to-back road victories for the first time since last season. A turnover, though, counter developing quickly, put in front, it's cut out, off the volley, hammered high, and over the hill behind the net. A sigh of relief for Will Mackey and Huntsville City. Can't have too much of this if you're the visitors. This is a potent Chattanooga press that can speed you up, force you into turnovers, and pounce on it. Chattanooga this season, 5 counter-attacking goals to their credit. Looking to work this one forward. No one on the receiving end for Huntsville, and that is where Jakupovic will take possession. Coming into this contest, Chattanooga, they've been able to take at least 1 point in 3 of their previous 4 fixtures. That includes the 2-2 draw against this very same Huntsville side. Jones looking to turn this one upfield, instead fired right to the feet of Julian Gaines. Gaines, a player that O'Neill, manager for Huntsville, had discussed at the start of the season. He said this about a few guys, that the best ability is availability for this Huntsville team. And Julian Gaines, 29 in orange out there today. He has it now, a player that coming into this season with 53 total matches over the last 2 seasons. Both he and Maximus Eck trying to get healthy. They feel like both those guys are healthy and now racing forward with it. Yoshizawa looking to get to that outside. Couldn't round the corner on Sarsar. It's deflected out, but it will be a corner for Huntsville. And rather, it will end up being a goal kick. Officials electing to change their mind. Yoshizawa was adamant that it was a corner, went streaking over to that far corner flag, but Jakupovic will put it back into play. Kohler trying to work it over to Barker John on the left-hand side. Barker John instead will have the throw back in, and we'll find the feet of Nathan Kohler. Kohler leads the team so far this season. Been a defensive stalwart, averaging just about 11 defensive contributions per 90 minutes. And now up ahead they go. Carell has it at his feet. Now it's Barker John shifting to that outside. Wants the cross, blocked out by Gaines, and this will in fact be a corner. Mangarov will get set to trigger this in. Good actions in and around the area for Chattanooga, spurred on by the aforementioned Barker John, making his 6th start of the season in 7 appearances. Chattanooga, they've converted 1 corner goal. They'll play the short option in. Barker John did have the man in Mangarov. That overlapping run, couldn't hit him, and now ultimately dispossessed. The real work beginning, though, for Huntsville City, trying to clear it out of their own end, and we'll be able to do that via a throw-in. '70 in orange, Yoshizawa, the former Clemson Tiger, acquired near the start of the season, late March, making his third appearance in a Huntsville shirt. He's been flying around on that right-hand side. Sarsar trying to hack that one away for a clearance. Did go deflecting out off a Huntsville defender and ultimately out of play for a throw-in. Despite some of the up and down nature for this Chattanooga FC side since the opening fixture of 2026, they are internally feeling like they're starting to turn that corner of where Richard Dixon wants to see them ultimately be come season's end. They put together some good results. They were able to go up a goal in the U.S. Open Cup against Atlanta United, who they hosted here at Finley Stadium just a few weeks back in that round of 32. And now we get a whistle here. It's Keegan Anselin who will be shown that whistle from Stephen Foster, our center referee. Really going hard on the defender there on that outside channel. But going back to Chattanooga, one of the areas that Richard Dixon had said this week that he feels like this team has really grown in is their counterattacking ability, their ability to not necessarily live in the transitional space, but when they do get in transition, make teams pay for it. Dixon, he told me that his mantra personally is, if you don't have the football, you're not playing football. Has described his tactical ideology as the #1 priority, going and pressing that football when out of possession. They want to win that ball rather high up the pitch, force turnovers, and they want to capitalize. Way to try to take the teeth out of that pressing shape is to use the switching passes. They did find a switch there, but ultimately rolled across that end line. Out it goes for a goal kick. Support for tonight's match comes from Erlinger, proud to be the exclusive healthcare provider of Chattanooga Football Club. Povich with it at his feet, and now we'll work that one back out wide. One thing Richard Dixon had described this contest heading into it as a match that you're going to be competing for space against Huntsville City. Specifically in that midfield space, both these teams, they like to try to control the tenor of contests in that middle third area. Robertson, the team leader in chances created, also had that penalty conversion back in March, the last time these teams met up. He reset things, and now here's Chiup, former Crown Legacy man, on the left-hand side. Goes inside to Jones, former Huntsville City midfielder. His pass through, intercepted, and now turning on this one is Huntsville. Cut inside. Aguilar, still Aguilar, the layoff, top of the area, slipped through. It's Gaines who carries it forward. Now Gaines' effort is blocked. Ultimately falls back to the feet of Maximus Eck. Eck, good combination. Trying to link back up with Eck was Yoshizawa. Pressure still living here for Huntsville. Gaines will go forward with it now, lifted in. Ultimately thumped clear by Chattanooga, and that is where Huntsville City will give chase and pick things back up. Mentioned earlier in this broadcast, this Huntsville team being a bit short-handed offensively. Shaq Muhammad, who has 3 goals in 3 MLS Next Pro appearances, not with this team. Jordan Knight as well, not available for selection for Huntsville tonight. Turnover, change of possession will occur via the throw-in. That, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, shifts players like Xavier Aguilar into more of a spotlight for Huntsville. And aforementioned Shaq Muhammad, he and Jordan Knight have been in and out of that first-team environment for Nashville SC throughout the season. In fact, Muhammad, 4 minutes as a second-half sub. The last time Nashville were in MLS action, that against Charlotte FC. A foot race here. Barker John able to win it. Barker John says that should be a corner. Officials do not concur. Coming up on the 20th minute here in Chattanooga. Just one combined shot for these teams. And that rests with the boys in blue, the home side of Chattanooga FC. Yoshizawa now. Early ball in, out wide. Huntsville will run it down, operating on the left, now cutting around, dancing past defenders. It was Light Eke. Eke couldn't hold on to it, though, at the last minute, and Chattanooga will clear the lines once more. First 5 to 7 minutes, it was Chattanooga in possession, not necessarily asking a ton of questions. They do get the one shot, but over these last 5 or 7 minutes, things have shifted in terms of tonally in favor of Huntsville. On the underlapping run, that was LaFleur trying to get up to it. It will be a corner here for Huntsville. Charles Brunet will make the long walk over to the far corner flag. This is what set Huntsville up, though. These combinations, that time it's the underlapping run from the 23-year-old Isaiah LaFleur. Able to corral that ball in and really put Chattanooga back on their heels. Brunet, a player that O'Neill has described as a maestro out there, will trigger this in. Swung in. First contact made by Chattanooga. It falls to the feet of LaFleur. Flicked on in behind at the end line. Trying to cut it back was Yoshizawa, and instead just running out of room. LaFleur, just a good lift in behind, and Yoshizawa had a break in on the defender. Couldn't do anything with it, though. That idea, though, of this first half being very herky-jerky in terms of who has the momentum, who doesn't, that is something that Chris O'Neill had spoke about at length earlier in the week. He acknowledged that there are going to be bouts for both teams where one team is going to be in possession, one team is not. O'Neill has reiterated to his team throughout the week and really throughout the season that at times they feel like when they are significantly without the ball, they can be slightly vulnerable. Looking to tidy that up a bit coming into this contest. Mentioned earlier that this Huntsville team are coming off the win at Inter Miami, and the aforementioned O'Neill, he did say that one of the biggest things that stood out to him was that they had much better defensive structure in terms of that conversation about being a little at risk when this Huntsville team are without the ball. They're not a heavy metal possession team, Huntsville, so far this season. As it's knocked out of play by Barker John. Gaines will quickly toss it back in, but O'Neill did say that Miami playing in that man-to-man structure in terms of their defensive structure can be hard to adjust to at times, especially when the game gets transitional. He felt like the game sort of devolved as they carried on into the second half, where it was just up and down, back and forth, but did feel like they limited Miami's transitional moments, specifically in that first half. As is typical, good patience shown here by Huntsville. They go forward to Brunet, central midfielder. Instead, peels it back, and now they will fully reset this over to Will Mackey. That is something, the patience that really stands out when you watch this Huntsville team. This is a side that are not afraid to recycle that ball, recycle their runs, wait for a proper opening. Mackey errant in his distribution there. That will set Robertson and Chattanooga FC up with the throw-in. Long toss ahead, seeking Mangarov, and Mangarov clattered into. Keep an eye right here on the left side of your screen. Immediately after that throw-in finds the feet of the former Atlanta United Academy man, Daniel Mangarov. Crashed into. This segment of the match is presented by FTC Development, developing unique spaces that inspire since 1912. An attacking half free kick here for Chattanooga FC. They haven't stacked up attacking half free kicks much this season. The fourth fewest free kicks in all of MLS Next Pro. Robertson has a hit from distance. Goes skipping inside, still free, and that is where Jones will charge forward. Able to pick the pieces up. Ultimately winning Chattanooga another corner. They weren't able to make much happen off their first corner. It was coated well defensively by Huntsville, who have emphasized improvement in their box defensive structure tonight. Especially the way Chattanooga can get numbers forward. They can get traffic inside the box, create chaos for the opposition. Mangarov, the short option, charging in. Instead, struck near post, ricocheting around. Looking for that clearance option was Huntsville, and they get a whistle to end the opportunity. Both Jones and Brunet worse for wear. In addition to the aforementioned Jack Muhammad, Jordan Knight not available for selection. No Thomas Williams today either. Started at center back. In that win against Inter Miami, had some good runs. Building now. Here's Yoshizawa giving up over to Brunet. Fell to the feet of Jones, and now we get another whistle here. To no one's surprise, physicality has been somewhat of an early theme. 6 combined fouls. They haven't been crunching challenges. We did see some physical tackles the last time these teams met up in Huntsville, Alabama. Jakupovic content to play high, away from his home in net. Now will swing this one ahead. That's where Mangarov trying to get around that outside defender. Nifty moves from Mangarov, who gets this cross off. Back stick, falling out the other side. The second effort, cleared away and out. A rocket rifled through on the second effort for Chattanooga FC. Could not turn it home. This is just brilliant work on the left channel for Mangarov, twisting and turning the defender. That goes banking off the near post. Will Mackey didn't know about it. Fortunate, though, to Huntsville Art not be down 1-0. Space to walk this one forward for Huntsville City. It's turned over, though. Barker John right in the area, ready to pounce on it, and will win a throw for Chattanooga FC. Their manager, Richard Dixon, he said that one of the hardest things about playing this Huntsville team is they want to make it difficult for their opposition. They want to try to get teams lost when out of possession. Chattanooga emphasizing an aggressive repress tonight against Huntsville City as we come up on that half-hour mark elapse, and a whistle will end it again. Another free kick ensuing here for Huntsville City. That press, though, for Chattanooga, it's something that Dixon reiterated numerous times in our conversation in the midweek. He said that the execution of the game model, the biggest key for Chattanooga specifically, how they press the football, if they can recover this ball high up the pitch as often as possible, that's obviously advantageous for the boys in blue. They do concede, Chattanooga do, that there will be moments where Huntsville will find ways to break the press. It's a Huntsville team that are very adept, as we've already seen in these first 30 minutes, at times of using that switching pass. We haven't seen it a lot from Huntsville so far. Those diagonal balls, those square passes. Yoshizawa carving an opening through the midfield and now rolls it ahead. Here's Huntsville played in front. Jakupovic came out to try to bat it away. Instead, it rolls all the way through, and Chattanooga come away unscathed. They were looking for X streaking in right in the center of your screen, was just a step away from that ball. Combination, able to knock this one ahead. Mangarov charging in to try to get to it. And he thought it was a throw for Chattanooga, already tossed it back onto the pitch. We get whistles from Stephen Foster. Now that ball is back in play as Kohler will drive it across over to his partner on the back line in Farid Sarsar. Sarsar, a player that can help unlock verticality very well for Chattanooga FC, averaging just a little under 5 long passes completed. And a great right foot, great vision, keen for finding those openings going ahead. That long pass from the aforementioned Sarsar, putting some real pressure there on the back line for Huntsville. Want to dress like the pros? Grab your official Chattanooga FC jerseys, hats, and Adidas fan gear today at shop.chattanoogafc.com. Robertson will back up for this long throw. This is something that Chattanooga have employed this season. Scored their lone goal a few weeks ago against Chicago Fire off a long throw in. Robertson chucks this into the area, deflecting around. Protests ensue from Chattanooga. They say it was a handball. Officials do not concur. Robertson directing traffic there over on that left side of your screen. Boys in blue elect to do go back to Jakupovic, who goes forward with it. Now here is Brunet, trying to help Chattanooga, rather Huntsville, turn this into a counter-attack, and now quickly building. Out wide on the flank, it's Yoshizawa. Steps back to the inside, Yoshizawa, Brunet joins the attack, over the top. Keeper off the line, the offside flag is up. Huntsville doing very well for themselves to get out and running. Getting in toward that final third very quickly. Valise, though, just could not stay on the right side of that restraining line. And a little early. Robertson now trying to pick up Carell. Ultimately results in a Chattanooga FC throw-in. Anselin looked ready for it, instead will defer. Back on the attack is Chattanooga FC. It's Mangarov looking for the cutback over to Carell. Now Anselin sets it up. Jones out wide. Robertson. Robertson will float it inside over Barker John. Falls to Mangarov, who puts it in front. Still free. The second effort rifled over the bar. Chattanooga incensed. Carell is down, clutching his lower right leg in the area. A look back at it. Mangarov putting this into a dangerous spot. You see Carell trying to go in on it. Defender coming in from behind on him. Nigel Prince telling Carell to get back to his feet. Chattanooga were sure that that was going to be a whistle for a penalty. You see that banner there in black over on the far side of your screen. Chattanooga versus all y'all. That is obviously a rallying cry for this fan base, but is it also the name of a new docuseries that's dropping about this Chattanooga FC team being shown on local television in the Chattanooga area as we get a whistle for another stoppage, breaking down pretty much everything encompassing this Chattanooga team from their start over to the jump to MLS Next Pro. Driven inside, put toward goal. That goes sailing wide of the near post and out. One thing that Richard Dixon had said, for Chattanooga, when getting into possession, they want to get their guys facing forward, running toward Huntsville's center backs. Starting to get some of that going here as this first half carries on toward the halftime whistle. Restart to this contest continuing to be delayed. Huntsville, we're trying to restart it off the free kick. Stephen Foster continuing to back them up, and now we are back underway. Yoshizawa, turnover forced by Chiap. Barker John now with it, shoveled across. Trying to give it over to Husakiewski. Husakiewski couldn't hold on to it. Barker John putting the foot in, trying to win it back. And Jones will straddle the stripe to help reset things for Chattanooga FC. There's Chiap again, looking to play this one in behind. Mangarov not going to beat Gaines on that outside. Mentioned earlier in this broadcast some of the injury struggles that Julian Gaines has had, but he's had a productive and positive 2026 season so far. as he continues to work his way back to full fitness, full confidence as well. He's defended well so far on that back line tonight for Chris O'Neill and company. Nigel Prince trying to go forward with it. Prince a chance to face off against another former Atlanta United Academy man, that being the aforementioned Daniel Mangarov. Prince spent time there pre-Northwestern, had a chance to actually make his debut professionally before going to college at Northwestern. 4 USL Championship appearances for Atlanta United too, that predating their time in MLS Next Pro. Atlanta United, a team that here in just 3 matches time following this, Chattanooga will get a chance to see once again. Some revenge on the minds of, rather, Huntsville will get a chance to see again. Some revenge on the minds of Huntsville City after falling on the road 4-1 earlier this year. But that's then. This is now locked in a 0-0 draw to this juncture with Huntsville and Chattanooga. Turned over. Here comes the visitors at that byline, trying to play it back centrally. Jones able to ultimately hook that one away clear. Not deep enough, though. A collision behind the play. You see Richard Dixon, none too happy of a man over on those Chattanooga touchlines. Farid Sarsar, the player who was down, back to his feet now for Chattanooga FC. And Jakupovic will put it back into play. Here's Chayup, cuts it back to the netminder. And now ahead, Chattanooga goes. They've tried to get vertical a decent amount in this opening 45 minutes. There's 13 long passes completed. I say just 13, but they are completing 72% of them, so that is a very high clip for Chattanooga. Had 36 last time out in that 1-0 loss against Crown Legacy, using that verticality to put some strain on Crown Legacy, and they've at times done it tonight against Huntsville as we barrel in toward the halftime whistle. Ball falls to Husakiewski. Gives it up over to Robertson. Robertson looking for a whistle. An official simply just shrugs in the center of the screen. Now played in behind. It's another whistle. The offside flag there just at the bottom of the frame coming up. It's Maximus Eck in an offside position. Maximus Eck, such a fascinating player because you look at the amount of minutes he's played in his career. Just 12 total appearances coming into the season for Maximus Eck across his career. Had a torn ACL 7 matches into the 2024 season, missed 42 combined games between 24 and 25. Chris O'Neill, he's always spoken very highly of Maximus Eck every time he and I have chatted throughout the years, but just such a small sample size. But he continues now that he is fully fit this year, and he's started all 7 of his appearances in 2026 for Huntsville City. He continues to impress offensively. 4 goal contributions in 2026, 3 goals of his own. Here is Eck now. A slight nod down to try to set Huntsville up. Good ball in from Yoshizawa, and now trying to spring them free was Eck. Forward over to Aguilar. Aguilar in early, and that will draw an offside flag. Parker John progressing centrally now. He will swing this one out wide over to Robertson. Had some issues trying to corral that ball in. It will result in a Huntsville City throw-in. Sarsar will play this one back over to Jakupovic. Kohler had laid off of it. Felt some heat coming in from behind. Chattanooga will have the throw as Chiap will walk forward to take this. Yves Chiap, former NC State Wolfpack, East Tennessee State Buccaneer collegiately. 20 appearances last year for Crown Legacy. Now making his 7th start in as many appearances this year for Chattanooga FC. Brune trying to connect passes in the midfield and now cut forward, racing in behind. It's Yoshizawa. Yoshizawa stops. Yoshizawa goes for goal. Defense coming up strong again for Chattanooga FC. Ability to get bodies back when Huntsville do get in transition. It's been a free-flowing first 45 minutes, very few stoppages, and that means no added time at the end of the half. The whistle sounds, and we have reached the intermission break. Our score at the half, 0-0. Coming up in our halftime show, one of the best young stars in MLS traces his soccer roots. That after this brief timeout.
Yeah, boys hear cinnamon, flow tastes sweet like cinnamon. Open up doors, I'm a gentleman. View top floor, I'm still staying ahead of them. Running on fumes and adrenaline. Do what I do best, can't rush in like a roulette. You can't name a better duet. Don't ask questions, trying to figure out what sound. Don't worry about what next, just wanna know what's next. Man, I say it so loud. Don't worry about what next, just know we got now. Oh yes, man, I say it oh so proud. Don't worry about what next, just know we got now.
Should be a fun season of MLS Next Pro. Oh my! Pedrinho wins it!
Welcome back to Chattanooga. It's 0-0 through 45 minutes of play. Last week, Julian Hall scored the first goal in a wild match for Red Bull New York. After helping Red Bulls 2 win the MLS Next Pro Championship last season, let's track the remarkable journey of this rising star.
Julian Hall, remember the name. It's that man again, Julian Hall. Cross goal, it goes in. Mehmeti, has he broken through here? Mehmeti across, Hall! swinging ball towards the back post. It goes! Open goal for Red Bull New York! Julian Zakshevsky-Hall!
Born in Manhattan, New York, Julian Hall found the game the same way a lot of kids in this city do.
I first kind of started playing soccer when I was around 4 years old. I would play a lot wherever I could, if it was a field near my apartment or wherever I could, basically. And I just remember, falling in love with the game and wanting to play as much as I can. There's a main place I would play. It's pretty popular in Manhattan. It's called Pier 40, and a lot of people go there. That's where I played with Manhattan Kickers. It's kind of where I really started to realize I really wanted to play soccer seriously and maybe make it professionally.
That love for the game turned into an opportunity, a move into one of the top academies in the country.
Julian came into our system at U14. I think he played about 3 or 4 games with the U14s. I was a U15 coach at the time, so I was observing those games, and you could see straight away he was a special talent. So he quickly got moved up an age group to play with the U15s that season. Made an instant impact with the older age groups.
The level changed quickly, and so did the expectations.
I was very excited to come in and show my ability, and I was playing with my age and I was playing a year up, and the intensity was a different level, I would say, from what I've ever played at that point in my life. So yeah, no, it's an amazing experience.
Chimueno scored off the bench against Seattle, and Julian Hall with the breakthrough! The Golden Boot leader rises to the occasion, and we've got an electric finish here in the U15 final.
He's one of those players that can get you up off your feet. Like, he's direct, he can take players on, he can score goals from inside the box, outside the box in really different ways. And, it would always amaze you how he would find goals in the game.
The next step brought a new set of challenges.
That was the biggest jump for me, going from academy to professional football. The intensity, the physicality, the football, it was all quicker than anything I had experienced before. And, I just thought I did a good job of staying level-headed and not being discouraged about little things.
Working to the midfield, now Gonzalez entering the box, across and a goal! Julian Hall puts the Red Bulls 2 on the board.
I was lucky to be coached by Ibrahim Sakaya, and Bradley Wright Phillips was there a lot of the time as well. They did a good job of helping me progress and helping me not get discouraged and keep going every single day and working hard. The coaching staff really mended me very well.
Like, he's always striving to try and get better at something within games and training. And then, why he adapts well, he's a natural goal scorer.
For Julian, it was about staying level and keeping the work the same.
When you go to a professional environment, if you're doing the most amount of work and you're clearly working harder than everyone else, it stands out to a lot of people, and that can be something that separates you from everyone else. If you're a hard worker, that could get you to a lot of places, and I think that's just something that established me when I first came into the first team.
That work and mentality has paid off with the fast start of the season.
We're really happy with the way that he's moving himself forward. He has taken the ideas and has really shown that he is picking things up. Obviously, there's the attacking part, his ability to find chances, his ability to take balls on the move, to dribble, to go by guys, run in the box. The part that goes with it is how much work he does for us against the wall, how much pressing, how much sprinting, how much chasing, how much work he does to really make the game difficult on the other team. And so we're really, really happy with the progress that he's made. We're gonna continue to push him.
As he continues to grow, so does the chemistry with his teammates around him.
I've known Julian for a very long time now. I see the way he works in training. I'm getting to know him more and more, obviously, as we play together on and off the field. And then when I step onto the field, I know where he's gonna be on the field, what his positioning is like, where he wants the ball, left foot, right foot. And we're kind of growing that connection, which has been going in a really good way, and hopefully, to grow that connection even more.
Mehmeti, has he broken through here? Mehmeti across, Hall! 2-0!
I think it's just the trust with the coaching staff. Coach Michael, he's done a great job with us during preseason. and putting trust in me to start the first couple games. It's a lot of credit to him for putting his belief in me. Obviously, I have to go out there and perform to the best of my ability, and thankfully I've got a couple goals so far. The goal is to keep progressing throughout the season.
Talent and work ethic have helped Julian's dreams come true faster than even he could have predicted.
I've always dreamt of becoming a professional soccer player, but I never really expected it to happen so fast, to be honest. You know, earlier that year, I was still just playing academy, and I was progressing well, but I never thought it would lead to signing a contract later that year. So it's kind of a lesson there just to be ready for anything, and anything can happen very, very quickly. You really just have to put your all into whatever you're doing, and things can happen. I think a big thing is just self-belief, because when I was playing in MLS Next, I was signing a contract later that season. I had no idea. I did not have a plan on signing that year. That was not in my plan at all. I think things like that can come from just you doing as much as you can, and things will just happen by itself, you know. As long as you're working hard and giving 100% every single day, you know, good things will happen. And, you know, thankfully things came to me that year, and, you know, you gotta be grateful and you gotta use it as much as you can to your abilities.
Great stuff there in New York for the young Julian Hall. As for our contest here in Chattanooga, Tennessee, we are at the halftime break, and it is scoreless between Huntsville City and Chattanooga FC. Plenty of action in and around MLS Next Pro that is worthy of reflecting on as our halftime report carries on here. Action to come as well, coming up this weekend. Starting tomorrow, Philadelphia Union and Red Bull New York 2. We mentioned Julian Hall, who cut his teeth there with the defending MLS Next Pro champions. They will square off in a rematch of the Eastern Conference Final. That kicks things off at 3 p.m. tomorrow, but plenty of exciting Eastern Conference clashes all around. Crown Legacy, who continues to pace the Eastern Conference, they will welcome Orlando City B, who's trying to string together some results and get their season continuously on track. And then Toronto FC at 7 p.m. They have been such a fascinating team. Toronto right now, in terms of where they sit in the conference standings, just one spot ahead of this Chattanooga FC side in 7th place in the Eastern Conference. Chattanooga just 1 point off their pace with the 10 points, but it's a Toronto team that they can put goals on the board in a hurry. Had a 5-0 contest earlier this year on the road against NYC FC2. They also can play that gritty defensive style, played to a 3-3 draw with Crown Legacy earlier this season. That one coming up across the other side of the border in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Those are the matches to come around MLS Next Pro. As for our contest, well, we may be scoreless, but there's plenty of action to look back on. Let's get you caught up to speed with our first half highlights. And this contest has had fits and spurts of both teams enjoying possession, but still trying to find that elusive breakthrough goal in this contest. Huntsville, a good little flick on in behind, courtesy of Isaiah LaFleur. That one ultimately spilling across the end line. Nothing coming from it. This nifty footwork from Daniel Mangarov trying to get past that outside defender and Julian Gaines, ultimately getting the cross off. This goes plunking off the near post before ricocheting out of play, and it would stay scoreless after that. Then back down the other way, Huntsville would put this in front. Jakubovic coming out, trying to deflect it away, ultimately rolling out, and it would be a goal kick. Then whipped back across. Here's Mangarov later on in the half. This one of the best opportunities that Chattanooga have had. They were adamant that that was a penalty. It was not a whistle at the end of the day, though. And then this one fired wide of Will Mackey. Huntsville would come back the other way, and this man, 70 in orange, has been a force to be reckoned with when Huntsville have been in possession. Misei Yoshizawa cutting around to that outside. Ultimately, his shot deflected away. And that is where we stand through 45 minutes of play. 0-0 between Chattanooga FC and Huntsville City. We'll head to break when we return moments away from the second half kick.
Can't rush in like a roulette. You can't name a better duet. Don't ask questions, trying to figure out what sound. Don't worry about what next. Just wanna know what's next. Man, I say it so loud. Don't worry about what next. Just know we got now. Oh yes, man, I say it oh so proud. Don't worry about what next. Just know we got now.
Should be a fun season of MLS Next Pro. Oh my! Pedrinho wins it!
The unique energy of a Sunday night. Ideal for calm music, whispers, stargazing, reflection, and a relaxed environment. Sunday nights were made for this.
Moments away from the opening of the second 45 minutes here inside Finley Stadium in Chattanooga, Tennessee. 0-0 through 45 minutes of play in this second meeting of the Tennessee River Derby between the home side Chattanooga and the visitors Huntsville City. Solid 45 minutes in the books for both these teams, who had plenty of chances in toward goal, but still both searching for their first shot on target. Both teams out from the halftime locker room. Stephen Foster has both sides set to go. Considerably less scoring through 45 minutes than we saw the last time these teams locked up. 3 combined goals at the end of the first 45 minutes. We do get the whistle from Stephen Foster, and we are officially underway for the second 45. One change at the break for Huntsville City. Malachi Molina, the former North Texas man, will come on. This one hacked forward. Yusikowski trying to put a foot in to keep that possession alive for Chattanooga. 45 minutes in the books for Julian Gaines, as Molina will come on to spell him. First match this season that Malachi Molina has not started on that back line for Huntsville City. It's been an important acquisition, the former FC Dallas homegrown. Here is the former Nashville SC and Huntsville man himself, Isaiah Jones, trying to force the issue and win that ball back. Could not. Thrown back in by LaFleur. So many new faces in and out for this Huntsville team. It's a remade back line in 26 for Chris O'Neill. Mentioned the addition of Malachi Molina. Trying to turn this one away as Yves Chiap from pressure has the aforementioned Molina on his hip. Turned over. This from distance, and it's in! Inside 2 minutes into the second half, Huntsville City have found the breakthrough, 1-0. All set up off the turnover. Chiap couldn't clear it away. Too short of a clearance, and it's fired in. Yoshizawa's efforts paying off. He had come up massive in the attack in the opening 45, but couldn't help get Huntsville across the finish line, and now they do find that back of the net. 3 matches into his Huntsville City career, Misei Yoshizawa has his first career goal. Now Barker John looking for the answer. Dropped right into the gloves of Will Mackey. Well, what was lacking in the first 45 offensively in terms of that ruthlessness in the final third. Both teams have come out from that locker room at the half with renewed intensity. Both finding their first shot on target just about 60 seconds apart from one another. Mackey just now recording his first save of the contest as it's thrown back in by the aforementioned Molina. LaFleur losing some ground. Now Mackey under duress, has to get rid of it, and does. Trying to play long that time, and instead, leaves Chiap will watch it roll out. It will be a throw in. There was a whistle from Stephen Foster that brought things to a stoppage. Play is back underway. Well, this Huntsville team this year, they've given up more goals than Chris O'Neill would like. They have had a tendency to score in bunches as well, specifically when getting into counterattacking moments. Another stoppage motioned for from our center referee. Daniel Mangarov worse for wear. And he is slow to get back to his feet. In fact, has to be helped back to his feet by Sarsar and our center ref. Usikiewski rolls it back into play, and we are back underway, but that's short-lived for Chattanooga, and you can't have moments like that if you're the home side trying to claw your way back into this one. Richard Dixon for Chattanooga, he's been adamant, trying to hold on to that ball a little bit more, enjoy a little bit more possession throughout the season. He does feel like that in terms of when it comes to executing their full game model, he's seeing a lot of progress in that regard these last few weeks. Biggest thing is getting their key guys, as he says, touches on the ball. One of those being Tate Robertson. Robertson crashed into. Here's Barker John now. Support developing to his left, shoveled over to that support in Chiap, who has to cut it back over. Sarsar, he'll funnel it forward over to Robertson, who flashes across in all the way through over to Barker John. Barker John settles, wants that end line. Still Barker John trying to find an opening on Molina. Barker John now goes for goal, and Mackey will sprawl on it again. Chris O'Neill this week, he had nothing but positive things to say about the play of Will Mackey so far this season for Huntsville City. It's a great effort here from Damian Barker John to just stay on it, stick with it. I was trying to put it in front in hopes that Keegan Anselin could tap it home. Going back to Will Mackey, though, Chris O'Neill this week, he said it's so important to get him involved, but it's not just his distribution. They like the way he's able to see the ball, read things happening around him. He cuts crosses off very well. An important acquisition in the offseason for Huntsville City, bringing him in from the Real Salt Lake organization, former RSL Academy U18 keeper a season ago. Also spent some time with Real Monarchs as well. Here's Mangarov turning. Wanted to get it to Keegan Anselin. Fell back to Mangarov, who's tripped up from behind. And this will be a stoppage again from Stephen Foster. Charles Brunet was trying to plead his case with the center referee, who finally had heard enough. Robertson, they're doubling him up on this right-hand side. They go back to the well. Sarsar ahead. Robertson will cut it in front. It's Anselin going for goal, but firing it wide. It's the best look at equalizing Chattanooga have had since going down. It's a good ball in from Robertson, and just on the turn, Keegan Anselin, who throughout his career in Chattanooga has had a real nose for goal, including this season. 6 career goal contributions for the former West Florida man. Back on the move is Chattanooga FC. Bodies hitting the deck all around, and now we do get a stoppage. And this could potentially be more, and it will be more. First card of the evening will come out. Daniel Mangarov, after some of the challenges that he's suffered, especially since the clock rolled over to the second half, he is going to get a much deserved ice bath after this contest. Able to draw a yellow on Nigel Prince. And it sets Chattanooga FC up with a free kick and a real inviting position here for the boys in blue. Robertson plays it ahead. It's Barker John. Barker John muscled down. Official promptly pointing to the spot. Robertson trying to catch Huntsville City off guard, doing exactly that, and Charles Brunet just putting a shoulder into the back of Damian Barker John, dragging him down. Chattanooga, they felt hard done in the first half. Thought that there was a penalty that went uncalled. They go back to it, and now they do draw a penalty. They are 2 for 3 from the spot this season. It's Damian Barker John a chance to level. Barker John for the equalizer, stopped. The rebound not turned in, and it rolls out of play. An incredible stop from Will Mackey on a good take from Barker John. Mackey just pawing it away with that right hand. Guessed a bit wrong, Mackey had. And you see the celebration after. For good reason. Heroics in goal. That's a huge swing of momentum for Huntsville City, and what has, since Chattanooga went down, been a contest that has somewhat been controlled by Chattanooga. They are pushing hard for this equalizer. This time trying to go out wide with it from Jakupovic. It does careen out of play. Robertson will have the throw. Tonight's match brought to you by Vibrant Meals. Chef-prepared meals ready in 3 minutes. Voted Tennessee's favorite. Building is Chattanooga. Jones trying to turn on that ball. Instead, turns right into the face of pressure. Specifically, Xavier Aguilar, the 17-year-old. Robertson, an early ball in out wide. Molina has the beat in on it on Damian Barker-John, and we'll just let that one deflect and bounce out of play. It was Damian Barker-John, number 9 in navy and white, the man who had the chance to equalize from the penalty spot. Meanwhile, Light Eke, the 20-year-old Nigerian, he is down, slow to get back to his feet, and that will bring trainers on from Huntsville. Light Eke, somewhat of a recent acquisition for this Huntsville team. 3 appearances in a Huntsville shirt since being signed in March by the visitors in this contest. International caps under his belt with the Nigerian U17 national team at the Africa Cup of Nations a few years back. They are looking at that right leg of Eke. Eke helped back to his feet, shuffling toward the boundary line at the bottom of the screen, flanked by trainers. Huntsville City are prepared to make changes plural, 2 to be exact. Javen Van de Vinter will come on in place of the young Xavier Aguilar, whose evening is done up on the front side of the attack for Huntsville City. And joining the aforementioned Van de Vinter on is Nick Pariano, the former Philadelphia Union II captain. A double change for Chris O'Neill, his first 2 changes of the night. And play is back underway off the restart. The other player coming off as a part of that double change is Light Eke, unable to continue on due to the knock, so his evening is done early as well. So far, 1 goal to be had, and it rests with Huntsville City. Misha Yoshizawa in the 47th minute, able to unlock this contest for Huntsville. Late arriving pressure here for Huntsville, who continue since the start of the second half to press with 2 up front, 3 in behind that front 2 in that pressing shape. Neither team able to settle in on possession near that midway line. Ultimately, Barker-John comes out of a crowd with it, and here is Damian Barker-John again. Barker-John stumbling down. A defender goes down as well for Huntsville City. Play continues on. Looking for the interchange around the area. Wanted Robertson back on the flank. Booted clear by Huntsville City, and that is where Nathan Kohler will nod it back over to Jakupovic. Now over on the left side, that one defended by Nigel Prince, who is already carrying a yellow. That sends Correll down. Look at it once more. The Chattanooga man falling to the turf surface. Gives Chattanooga a free kick. Passage, the official ticketing platform of the Chattanooga Football Club. Chattanooga started to stack up these attacking half free kicks here in the second 45. Robertson shadows over it. Now Robertson drives it into a crowd. First contact made by Huntsville. Pinballing around the area. Anselin trying to drive it out wide. Here's Barker John nodding it along. Finding Jones in space. Valise trying to dispossess Isaiah Jones. It will be a corner here for Chattanooga FC. First corner of the second half for either side. Chattanooga, they had 2 tries from corners in the opening 45. Whipped in, near post, promptly headed away by Huntsville City. Mackey trying to bat that ball back into play, was unsuccessful in that venture. And it will be consecutive corners now for Chattanooga. The best ways to try to get back into a contest is stack up the set piece opportunities. Chattanooga doing that. This one driven near the back post. Mackey got a fist to it to punch it away. Helped back along by Jones, but no one on the receiving end. And this a chance now for Huntsville to break out. Short-lived as that's booted up ahead, and Jakupovic will collect it. Chattanooga progressing nicely again. Barker John trying to switch it over to the right. Left it a bit short. Mangarov corralled it in for a moment and then went falling down. Now LaFleur looking to carry it forward. He goes down. It's a delayed whistle, and it will ultimately be a booking. LaFleur slow to get back to his feet, favoring that left foot as he lays prone on the turf.
Chattanooga FC substitution, now entering the game, number 29, Alexis Arua.
It will be Nathan Kohler going into the book. And now Damian Barker John will come off. A club debut for Alexis Arua, who will come on, a somewhat recent acquisition, a new face in this Chattanooga FC team in 2026, making his 2026 debut and trying to help Chattanooga come down from a 1-goal deficit. Right now, at the restart, it is Huntsville in possession. Leo Cristiano, the captain for Huntsville City. Spent time with Sporting Kansas City 2 a season ago before coming over in the offseason. He's provided a lot of stability throughout the season on that back line. Cristiano, 7 starts and as many appearances in 2026. Arguably the best player on Sporting Kansas City 2's roster a season ago. Now LaFleur trying to stand across, up into Eck. Couldn't hang on to that ball, and it goes rolling out. One area that we saw in the last meeting between these teams that Huntsville has started to exploit a little bit more as this contest has gone on. They had a lot of space on the left flank to move. In fact, in the first half, both their goals came off the left flank. One of them, a fantastic flick on that freed up space in behind that they ultimately scored on. But their ability to get into the wide spaces and then whip balls across the face of goal. In fact, it was the opening goal from Maximus Eck, diving in for the header on a fantastic cross back in that 2-2 draw. Glancing header along here from Pariano into an empty area, and that out of the vicinity of Eck. Chattanooga FC, they've been close offensively tonight. They've hit the post once, had a penalty saved very easily, could have 2 goals under their belt. Come to rest out of play. It will be a throw in for Huntsville. Brunet pinned back deep in his own end of things. Now Brunet goes falling down. Quick whistle, even quicker restart for Huntsville City. Passage, the official ticketing platform of the Chattanooga Football Club. Molina will track that ball down. Rolls it back, top of the 18. Here's Brunet. Inside, Valise now. Steps past one, takes a deflection in favor of Huntsville, back down toward the Chattanooga goal. Ultimately falls to the feet of Leo Cristiano. Sarsar going forward with it. Wanted to pick out Anselin. Was well defended, and now here's Eck with it. Eck dodging would-be challenges. Pariano looking to lead the way in. Unsuccessful there, led a bit too short, and Chattanooga all over. It's coming up into these final 15 minutes. Chattanooga, at least the last time they faced Huntsville City, they were able to pluck a goal inside those final 15 and ultimately send it to a penalty shootout. It's just one of 2 draws in this series history between Huntsville City and Chattanooga FC. And the aforementioned Huntsville, including their goals scored this evening, 6 combined goals against Chattanooga over their last 5 outings against the Boys in Blue. Thump this one in behind. Springing free is Chattanooga, whipped up ahead. And that will go sailing over the top netting and out of play. Chattanooga have had success getting into the attacking half. It's been when they get into that final third that at times they have struggled to find some of that ruthlessness and creativity that Richard Dixon have been looking for on a consistent basis from this attack, as fresh legs will come on for Richard Dixon. Ashton Gordon, the acquisition on the loan from the Atlanta United organization in January of this year, he is on. Eck trying to race this one down in behind. They don't have the numbers. Now Eck will double back. Cut over, it's Pariano. Too heavy of a touch and cleared away by Sarsar. Have to watch out, there's 2 balls on the field right now. And finally, Stephen Foster will sound the whistle to bring things to a stoppage. This will be a drop ball here. Mackey will drive this one forward. Oh, that's a wonderful ball ahead. Out comes the keeper, able to knock it away. Could have been danger territory for Chattanooga. Isaiah LaFleur able to just run up underneath this ball. Sarsar got his lines wrong. And Jakupovic at the final moment, well read off his line, able to clean up the error, keeping Chattanooga within striking distance as we enter the 75th minute. Going back to Chattanooga's win against Connecticut United here inside this venue earlier this season, that 4-goal outing for Richard Dixon's team. Boys in blue, they've strung together good results here at home. 3 consecutive wins after dropping the season opener at home against Crown Legacy. Ball deflecting around. Van de Vinter had it for a moment. Ultimately won back high up the field by Husakiewski. And now here's Mangarov. Mangarov trying to cut around inside. Mangarov had his pocket picked, and now here's Pariano. The layoff over to Brunet. It sets Huntsville City up with a throw-in, but first, the visitors will make another substitution. Nicholas Sullivan, the former Ventura County man, spent some time with LAFC as well. He will come on for Huntsville City. Play back underway off the throw-in. Here is LaFleur. Isaiah LaFleur, he has made the most of his second MLS Next Pro start of the season. Had some good runs over on that left side. And the one where he streaked in behind just moments ago. Ultimately parried away by Jakupovic. Sarsar going forward with it, and now we get a whistle here. Belize just impeding Alexis Arrua. On the move is Chattanooga FC. Mangarov out wide. This driven in front and ultimately cleared away. Nofo Brewing Co., the official craft beer of the Chattanooga Football Club. Robertson will back up against that wall over on the far side, trying to find the angle for the long toss in. Angling toward goal, deflected down, Arua trying to send that to that far post, instead sending it out of play. Arua here had a wide open look at goal. That opening quickly closed off by the defender. Oh, a poor giveaway at the back. In behind now is Huntsville. And some of these mistakes for Chattanooga in their own defensive end, threatening to compound. Still continuing to inch some of these numbers higher here into this pressing shape. These last few minutes, it has caused Chattanooga a couple of issues. The goal scored earlier in this half by Yoshizawa came off a counterattack. Alexis Arua trying to dance through defenders, successfully doing so. Here's Mangarov. Defender goes to ground. Mangarov looking to play Gordon through. Gordon lifting it in. Pariano is there. Able to hack it away for another clearance. An important one at that for Huntsville as we enter the final 10 minutes of regulation. Robertson trying to work that in behind the back line. Does force a clearance away from Huntsville, and it gives Chattanooga another throw in. Robertson, a heavy toss in toward the 6. Goes deflecting off the head of Husakiewski and out of play. Chattanooga, they've tried this long throw into the penalty area tonight. It can cause a lot of chaos, a lot of headaches for defenders. Huntsville have done well, though, to defend them. They are essentially like an additional set piece, the way teams are treating them these days with the long throws. It's a tactic that so many teams are continuing to borrow, as Chattanooga making 2 more changes. Garcia will come on. Nathan Kohler exiting. And Matthias Hanchard will come on. Meanwhile, here is Huntsville City driving out wide. It's Sullivan carrying it along. Peeling it back over to Molina, who's dispossessed, but it will stay here for a throw in. Trying to clear their lines, Chattanooga were. They turn it over, though, in doing so. Pariano ahead, slipped out wide, and ultimately picked back up by Malachi Molina. Now here is Brunet. Crafty footwork from Van Deventer. Javen Van Deventer, a player that Chris O'Neill had spoke about earlier in the week. He back at one of O'Neill's previous stops when he was in the Sporting Kansas City organization. He said that Van Deventer was one of the first players he ever coached in that organization, and identified him as a player that they were watching during his college days here in this Nashville SC organization. They're glad to have him, glad to have brought him in. Turned over by Huntsville. Mangarov trying to play it forward again, and once more canceled out by the Huntsville defense. A light whistle from Stephen Foster. Ultimately, though, a stoppage motion from our center referee. He did make the sign that ball had deflected off the elbow of Anthony Garcia. Here's a good interchange out on that right flank. Coming back into the penalty area. Yoshizawa able to hand it off over to Belize. Now here's Brunet. Brunet, a player that Chris O'Neill has described as a midfield maestro out there for Huntsville City. Guy that got a chance to get some good run in preseason with the Nashville SC first team, impressed a lot of people. O'Neill says the feedback they get from the first team coaches on Brunet is excellent. Jakupovic, a drop kick, hoping to breathe some life into this Chattanooga attack. One that has just one shot on target this evening. That despite having a penalty in this second half that was saved by Will Mackey, having a shot in the first half that went deflecting off the near post. Robertson now getting past Brunet, and Robertson will funnel it down low. Here's Mangarov. Options around for Daniel Mangarov. Deflected back away. Gordon trying to cross that one in. It will stay on this end for Chattanooga FC. Fifth corner of the night coming up for Chattanooga. Tate Robertson will get it set from the far corner flag. Swung back near post. Garcia heads it along, and Mackey is there. Two saves for Will Mackey this evening. Both of them have been crucial, keeping Huntsville City in front. Offside flag will come up. Pariano displeased with the whistle that will end the build-out for Huntsville City.
Huntsville City SC yellow card issued to number 24, Nicholas Pariano.
Pariano shown yellow as well. Huntsville will make one more change as this contest continues to inch toward its conclusion. Fabian Reynolds, the 20-year-old former Wolverhampton U23 man, will come on. Mackey puts a right foot into it. Play back underway off the stoppage for the substitution. Helped back along by Van Deventer. Brunet seeking a whistle. It's delayed, but it does come in ultimately. Brunet will touch up on it. Now Valise with it at the restart. Huntsville trying to tack on another goal to their advantage and perhaps put this away late. Running out of room, though, on that end line are the visitors, and it will be an Eldin Jakupovic goal kick. Pariano trying to drive this one forward for Huntsville. Reynolds joining in the attack on the late arriving run. Pariano will cycle it around. Here is Malachi Molina. Here in half number 2, Chattanooga have had their looks to either prior to going down the goal, go in front, or after going down the goal, level. A card pulled out of the pocket of Stephen Foster on the foul that ultimately impeded Tate Robertson's progression. Chattanooga, though, 58% possession in this second 45 minutes, and more importantly, they've completed almost 80 passes in this end of things. Huntsville have not spent as much time in the attacking half. Only 45 passes completed at this juncture. There are 5 minutes of second half stoppage time. Plenty of time for the home side to get back in this. Robertson hangs this high out wide. Deflecting around, still with it is Chattanooga for the moment. It was Reynolds, the recent substitution for Huntsville City, who was shown that yellow. Garcia, strong toss into the area. It won't matter, though. There's a whistle for a foul. Will Mackey boots it back away. He's had a strong night in net. Hasn't faced a ton of shots in this contest, just the 2 saves here in this second half. Both of his saves on the night coming in the second 45 minutes. There's a whistle here. Van de Venter tripped up. There also is an injured Chattanooga man behind the play. That is where Stephen Foster will head over to check on the status of the man down. Isaiah Jones, who, as you can see, he is significantly hobbled there. Play back underway on the underlap, cutting it inside. It's LaFleur. Falls to the feet of Pariano now. Pariano trying to pick out the far corner. And instead sends it into the stands. All evening, Huntsville City, they have had some very creative interplay in and around the 18-yard box. They haven't spent a lot of time in this second half in the attacking half. Just the one shot on target. They have made the most of their lack of opportunities. They have the lead as 3 just about of the 5 allotted for second half stoppage time have already drained down off this clock. Valise there with it, ultimately coughing it up. Van de Venter trying to win it back for Huntsville, unsuccessful there. Now Huntsville do win it back. Brunet charging in. Here is Malachi Molina. Malachi Molina The second goal courtesy of Huntsville's number 2, Malachi Molina, sealing it for all 3 on the road. 2-0. Once again, all set up. A little bit casual in the defensive half for Huntsville, trying to clear that ball away. They could not. Then Malachi Molina on the late arriving run, joining the attack and finishing things off for Huntsville City. Malachi Molina, a player that Chris O'Neill at the start of the season described as a pro's pro. One of the reasons they brought him into this Huntsville City side in the offseason. Malachi Molina showing his quality and picking up his first goal in a Huntsville City shirt. Thumped out of play by the visitors. Quickly tossed back in by Chattanooga FC. Mangarov. The dying minutes of this, the dying seconds rather, of this contest, trying to whip that one in. Ultimately driven clear. Here's Nicholas Sullivan now. Jakupovic trying to stretch things out for Chattanooga. Gone well over the 5 allotted for second half stoppage time. Stephen Foster content to let Chattanooga play this out. Arua ahead, looking for Garcia. Garcia going down. Huntsville incensed. Will Mackey charging way away from his home and goal to let Stephen Foster hear it. The visitors pleading for that full-time whistle. And instead, it's a whistle that goes in favor of Chattanooga. It sets Tate Robertson up with a free kick in the final gasps of this contest. Robertson offers it, back post, headed out. And there is the whistle for full time. After a scoreless opening 45 minutes, Huntsville puts 2 past Eldin Jakupovic, and in their return to Finley Stadium after dispatching Chattanooga in last year's playoffs, they are victorious. 2-0, our final. It was Malachi Molina finishing it off, but our man of the match tonight, presented by Adidas, goes to the man who opened the scoring earlier in the second half. Just 2 minutes into half number 2, Misei Yoshizawa, the former Clemson Tiger, pouncing on a turnover in the Chattanooga defensive half and helping spur Huntsville City to victory. Yoshizawa, the man of the match, presented by Adidas for the winning side. That is Huntsville City on the road. Huntsville City, they make it wins in back-to-back contests away from home and pick up their 3rd all-time win against Chattanooga FC. 2-0 the final. For our entire broadcast crew, I'm Jake Griffith. Don't forget you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long on MLSNextPro.com and OneFootball. Good night from Chattanooga, Tennessee.
may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.